The reluctant leader of the X-Men who shoots concussive blasts from his eyes, Scott Summers has been following his mentor, Charles Xavier, and fighting for the peaceful coexistence of mutants and humans for most of his life. As a child, Scott parachuted to safety with his young brother Alex. Their plane exploded, presumably killing his mother and father. Scott banged his head on a rock when he landed, which would later affect his mutant powers. As a teen, his optic blasts began to shoot out of his eyes uncontrollably. Outcasted, Scott was found by Charles Xavier and welcomed as the first student to the Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters. Scott became a leader figure and would lead the original 5 members of the X-Men, which includes Beast, Angel, Iceman, Jean Grey, and himself, known as Cyclops. Cyclops has been deputy leader of the X-Men since his teen years and has seen the team go through a myriad of changes. Cyclops found love with teammate Jean Grey and they began a relationship. During dark times, unbeknownst to Cyclops, Jean has gone missing, replaced by her clone Madeline Pryor. Marrying the clone, Scott later had a son with Pryor, who would grow up to be the time-displaced Cable. After the death of his first wife, Madeline, Scott married Jean, but later began to have an affair with the White Queen of the Hellfire Club and former villain Emma Frost. After the death of Jean, Scott and Emma now lead the X-Men. A brilliant tactician, Scott eventually became a natural leader of all mutants left on the planet after the mega event M-Day, leading them through some of the darkest times in their lives. When the Phoenix Force came back to take possession of his teammate and granddaughter Hope Summers, the Avengers came to take her into protective custody. Cyclops denied their request and the battle between the Avengers vs. X-Men began. When the Phoenix entity reached our solar system, instead of possessing Hope, it possessed Cyclops and his team, which consists of Namor the Submariner, Emma Frost, Colossus, and his sister Magic. Together, with an iron will, they created Utopia on Earth, but the remaining X-Men, teaming up with many superheroes, rebelled. The cornered Cyclops eventually took the powers of Emma Frost to gain an advantage, but was eventually defeated, but not without ending the life of his mentor and father figure, Charles Xavier. Powerless and in jail, Cyclops shown little remorse for the murder of thousands, including the beloved Charles Xavier. His teammate Magneto, Danger, and Magic breaks him out of jail and they reformed his X-Men. With a new suit and along with Emma Frost by his side, Cyclops now recruits the growing number of mutants around the world. He now calls the old army bunker used to experiment on Wolverine the new Xavier School for Higher Learning, to train his new students and to retrain their damaged powers. For his actions, Hank McCoy aka The Beast went back in time to bring the original 5 X-Men to present day to show his fallen friend how far he has fallen from his righteous path. Now the time-displaced young Cyclops is stuck in present day. He has since broke up with Jean after their adventures in space with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Young Scott has chosen to leave his team behind to travel space with his long-lost father Corsair and his Starjammers. Some call him a criminal, others call him a hero. He is a new and improved anti-hero that will not back down to anyone, not even to fellow teammate Wolverine and his divided faction of X-Men. Not even to the government group S.H.I.E.L.D., whom relentlessly chases Cyclops for his crimes against humanity. How's it going, guys? Welcome to Comic Island. My name is Joey and thanks for watching my origins and bio of Scott Summers aka Cyclops. Ever since the Avengers vs. X-Men story arc, Cyclops has skyrocketed as one of my favorite Marvel heroes of all time. He has evolved from Xavier's belief that mutants and humans can live together. Now he is the face of a coming mutant revolution, and he will stop at nothing to ensure the survival of his species. There's no one more dangerous than a villain believing he is a hero. Obviously Cyclops isn't a villain, but he walks a very thin line. I love that they never discussed his hand in the death of Charles Xavier. This adds so much mystery to Cyclops. I also love that there are 2 Cyclops in the 616 universe. Present day Cyclops and teenage Cyclops, stuck here with the original 5. There's actually another one called Corporal Scott Summers. He traveled with Dazzler and her Extreme X-Men through the multiverse defeating evil Xaviers, and since that issue ended, he now lives in the 616 for some R&R. I do hope he makes an appearance one day soon, but he isn't core to the Cyclops story. Currently, Scott Summers is the leader of his renegade X-Men. He has his son, the time-displaced Cable, his brother Alex aka Havoc, whom is leading the Avengers, his father Corsair, leader of the Starjammers, and he also has his teenage self, the young Cyclops, traveling with their estranged father in space. If you would like to read more from Cyclops, please pick up the Uncanny X-Men. After a few bad issues with horrible art, it gets better and the story is progressing. Cable and the X-Force is a great place to start if you are looking to get into what Cable has been up to post-AVX. And of course, you can find Havoc on the pages of the Avengers, joined by other members such as Captain America and Iron Man. The teenage Cyclops has left the original 5 X-Men and has his spin-off title called Cyclops, where he travels in space reconnecting with his long-lost father, Christopher Summers aka Corsair. So thank you so much for watching my origins and bio for Scott Summers aka Cyclops. If you would like me to do an origins and bio of a hero you feel deserves one, please let me know in the comments below. I highly recommend checking out my last origins and bio for Agent Venom to catch up on what he has been up to. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time in another origins and bio.